Hello everyone and welcome to episode 112 of Two Left Thumbs, your source of weekly gaming news, deals and discourse. I'm your host, Deft Puppies, and joining me this week, a man who he and I we've had some trouble getting together with some miscommunications of time. Von Spriggan, dude, how are you?
I'm good. Good to finally see you, dude.
It's a bit of pretext. We're recording this the same day as episode 111. I may have, like a true professional podcaster, double booked and forgotten about my second booking, just forgotten what date. Even though the week before, Von had checked with me because he thought it was that week.
Yeah, I was like a week early, keen as mustard, ready to go.
I'm a week late. It's Jesus Christ. It's oh man, it's been a day.
Good.
How are you, dude? I'm
good. I've been on holiday for like a week now, so I'm
nice.
Quite relaxed. Yeah, it's been really nice actually. So.
You going anywhere, or is this more of a staycation?
No, it's more of a just stay at home. Like my boss basically forced me to take some time off, which is nice. So it had been a while.
That bastard.
Yeah, damn them. Yeah. So the missus got some time off as well, and so nice. It's been relaxing at home, which coincided with like starting to release like all the music and stuff like that. So I've been able to kind of do that work, you know what I mean? Like the fun work, the real job. Yeah,
do the job you love doing, not the job you have to do to earn the bills. Yeah. So exactly. Leaning into that, who are you and what do you do?
Okay, so my name's Von Spriggan. Most people know me for streaming games and stuff like that, but actually in the background for like I don't know, many years now, I've been making a lot of music, and always kept it on the back burner, just making tunes and having fun. But now I had a little bit of a cancer scare. What was it, maybe like 8 months ago or something like that. So I got a big skin cancer cut out of my chest. Made me really kind of think about life and what I was going to do, where I was with streaming and where I was with like my kind of hobbies and stuff like that. What was a career? And I was like, okay, I got to make some fucking music. And it's kind of hit like a little bit of panic. It's like, dude, you might not be here, and then you can't make any more music, and you've got all this stuff to get out. So, like,
I've got these ideas, and if I don't get them out, no one's gonna have them.
That's it. Or not even so much that, but just sort of, it's like it's a weird thing, like putting out music. I've done it for a while, and I honestly got to a point where I was like, okay, this doesn't connect with anyone, and that's cool. Like, I love making it, so I'm just gonna keep making it, and I'll just show it to my missus.
Yeah.
and I'll listen to it, and that's going to be enough. That's going to be enough. And then, like, that hits, you have this big life-changing sort of thing hit you, and you're like, actually, stop being a pussy. I've got to fucking try and put this out there. And just, yeah. I think that fear of rejection can take over. And then as well, I started streaming within that time, and that kind of that took off in a way that I didn't. Not in terms of like becoming like a huge streamer, but just like it was so much fun. It was so easy to just like it's a lot easier to play a video game than it is to bash your head against the wall trying to write music sometimes, like, so it was a nice way to just...
If you can't figure out one, you've got kind of that something to switch over to kind of relax and kind of get the juices flowing again, right? How long, how did I mean, music's pretty universal for a lot of people, like as far as the love of it's concerned, but how did it start for you?
I suppose... Like when I was a kid, like I always knew that I liked heavy music. Like I could just probably like everybody, you heard Kiss and you see the face paint and stuff in like little kid. You're like, oh my god, cool, Before that, it was like when I'm really young, like Michael Jackson and Kylie Minogue, like early '80s, like little kid. But so that kind of heavy music sort of took off. Always loved it and kind of got absorbed in it. Like many people throughout high school, and you come from like, it's not like I came from like a bad background or anything like that, but just like anyone, you get bored and you kind of live in a shitty town, so there's a lot of escapism. So I think that's where like music just became this like just dive into this, and I'm just like, that's my world kind of thing.
Yeah,
and then I had
a similar thing,
yeah. So I think that's like a pretty relatable thing for most teenagers. You don't relate to the world around you and all that kind of stuff, so you find all these bands that do kind of relate to you. Yeah. So that's where that kind of love came in. But I never actually like made any music. I didn't think I could. Like I never got the opportunity to sort of try instruments or anything like that. So it wasn't until and I was like, it was weird too. I was like I got really into punk music, and it was like kind of militant. Like it's like anything else but punk music's fucking fake. Like fuck, you know, you can't like it was really, really dumb attitude. But it's like I'm kind of a little bit like that. Like I might go over top on things that I really love, and then I'm like, bring it back.
Yeah, just going full force, and they go, hey, wait a minute, I think we're going a little bit too far here. Let's back a little bit.
Yeah, so and then I met some older friends that introduced me to a lot of other music and like stuff like James Brown and just all music. And you're like, oh, actually, there's all this really cool stuff out there where everyone's just as passionate, and it's just like a different form, you know, it just gets expressed differently. So, and yeah, from there started like, so just like to be blatantly honest, started getting into hallucinogenics. Got introduced to psilocybin mushrooms. I only did them a couple times, but that like kind of set off a little spark of like trying to learn things.
Really?
So
interesting.
It was really so yeah, it wasn't like I got introduced to these guys and ended up moving into the house with them. And these dudes were like, so they were cool dudes. Like I was 18, starting to get into dumb drugs and going out every weekend. And it was like the third weekend of like taking ecstasy and stuff and going out. And this guy, Rob, his name was, he's like, what the fuck are you doing, man? I was like, I'm going out, man. He was like, oh, fuck, dickhead, sit here, like read this book, you know, just chill out. You don't need to do that stuff. And like introduced me to that whole kind of world of just like learning. So through my roommates, we started learning like didgeridoo and like djembe and all that kind of like hippie stuff, I guess. And sort of just jamming, you know. And in that house, we were really lucky. We had lots of bands actually would come around to the back room and like jam in there. So got introduced to all that kind of stuff, and that's when it really took off and started actually trying to learn. Still didn't have enough money for a guitar or anything like that, but yeah. Then so fast forward like a couple of years, moved to a place called Mandurah, which I'm in at the moment, Mandurah, Western Australia. Had some friends that had a guitar and stuff like that. Started playing guitar and like kind of again, just using it as a way to escape. I think, you know, you just get lost in the just playing, you know. And then started forming jam bands and stuff where so it's kind of fun. So we'd take mushrooms and just jam for hours and hours and hours and just get lost in the music. And it was it was kind of trying to be spiritual with it, I guess, and trying to learn our brains and our consciousness and expand that. And but then and then just from there I started getting more involved. I just wanted to make music, so it was like I'd have people that would like drummers that would bail out. So it's like, okay, well, I got to learn to play drums now, and I got to learn to do this and learn to do that because I want to make
always
songs.
The drummers? I've heard drummers are wildly unreliable.
In our band, it was. I love the guy. He's like one of my best mates. I was his best man at his wedding, and it's one of those things that you can't ever judge anyone, because like when you're in a band, it's like a marriage, and it's like, okay, put your entire life on the line because we're going to try and push this dream. And if it doesn't work out, we're all fucked. So, and then you got, so if you've got a guy that's like, look, I've got a job opportunity and, you know, a girlfriend and we want to have babies and, you know, start a family, you can't really be like, you know, fuck you, what are you doing? Like, you know.
I mean, well, you can, but it makes you an asshole.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, it's like, yeah, cool, man. And like, so you just sort of adapt. And that's, I think it's all worked out for the best. So now with my music, like I produce everything. I went and got a degree in sound engineering. And like worked in live sound for about 15 years as a sound engineer. And yeah, sort of just learned how to produce and do my own thing and get lost in my own world. And now, yeah, here I am. Sort of, I feel like finally like I'm making music that I've had in my head for a while. It's taken a little bit to get there, you know. But
I mean, that's the thing, especially with creative processes like that. It can take you an entire lifetime to get you kind of where you're happy with what you're doing, and even then, you know, like you'll always look back at it and go, I could have done this better, or I have this new idea. And I think it's just it's a blessing and the curse of the creative arts. You're kind of always trying to, you're looking at it and you're always your own worst critic, and like then you're, I can do this better, and then you have another idea and you're, all right, we can adapt it for this. Yeah,
it's funny because it's like it's all the fuel for it, but it's also like torture. Sometimes, you know, where the worst thing is like you'll make something sometimes that you're like at the time you're just sort of like you're just in the zone. You're like, oh, this is so awesome, like so cool. And then you're like, I'll put it in the car stereo and I'll listen to it, and I'm like, yeah, I think this sounds really good. And then the next song comes after it that's like better produced, and thicker and heavier, and you're like, oh god, it sounds like I just fucking was playing
terrible.
with a wet noodle. It sounds like I stubbed my toe and I was fucking slapping a cardboard box, but yeah. Then that's what makes you go back and do it again, and try.
Hey, that's it.
Yeah.
The cycle continues, and you're back at square one again.
Yeah, but yeah. So you go.
No, you're right. Keep going.
I was just saying, yeah. So the music's like, yeah, it's a weird thing. Like I'm happy that I'm trying to actually produce it and put it out there. And the first song is doing way better than I thought it would. It's not like it's huge or anything like that. I never expect to like make money off it or anything like that. But it's just cool to be able to like put it out there and have nice messages of people connecting to it and sort of So it's cool.
I started listening to the track you released the other day.
Yep.
I saw it go up. I was like, I'll check it out, because I'd followed your Spotify page before. I'd listened to a few tracks. They're pretty good. I'd quite enjoy your style of music. It's kind of what I'm into as well. So it's kind of nice. And I was like, yeah, I know the guy that made this. But the latest track was a fucking banger, dude. I loved it.
Yeah, thanks. That was like a song where I felt like I was like, yeah, I don't know. It was weird. It was like this one that you've kind of been like there's a sound that you chase, like, and I'm sure it's like with every like sort of art, or there's something that you chase, and that was like one of the ones where I was like, fuck, I really think this might be kind of like I'm getting there kind of thing. And that was I just bought this new bass. That's just in the background there. I just bought a new bass, and I hadn't had a bass for like ages and ages, and like so I got a 5-string bass, and it was like one of the first riffs that I sort of played on it, and I think just like, yeah, new bass, and so excited, and just like, and it's like, oh wow, that sounds thick, like, and then all of a sudden it just like kind of spews out of you sometimes. That was one of those lucky ones where it was like you're kind of chasing down the idea, like, okay, this, and it's like this weird sort of
all kind of comes
jigsaw
together.
Yeah, and it's sort of like, oh, okay, now I can do this. Oh yeah, that's sweet. Like, and then always like the end of those ones, you're like, is it any good? Like, because I didn't feel like it was hard enough.
Like,
you know what I mean?
This came too eezy. Is this going to be okay? Is this going to sound like shit again?
I feel like I should be suffering for this. Like, and then sent it. Actually, I send a lot of my stuff to that drummer that I was just talking about. Sent it to him. Yeah. And showed my girlfriend, and it was like, yeah, this sounds like a huge step up. And I was like, I kind of feel like, I think it might be better than my other stuff. So it was nice. Yeah. That's what you can hope for, really, is just to make something that you're kind of happier with than the last thing.
Exactly. You keep on improving. So what goes into, like, I mean, aside from randomly slapping a new bass and going, oh shit, this sounds alright. What kind of goes into like putting a track together like that?
So there's a fair bit, actually. So like, because you do everything, well, I'm doing everything. So I've got like, you can see this keyboard here, which can control heaps and heaps of different stuff. So it's a MIDI keyboard, so I use that to like play all the drums and stuff like that. So normally it starts with a drum beat, actually. Like I'll just like nod my head, and that's like, or whatever I want to do. It's like, I want it to be fast, something like this, and I get the tempo and kind of start the beat. But that one came from that riff, so form the beat around that. So it's basically just like creating layers and layers and layers and layers. I try to not, like, because it's all made on the computer, it can sound really robotic really quickly, and that's good for some types of music, like electronic music and stuff. It works really well, but like in sort of metal and rock, like it needs like a little bit of swing to it. Like, I think one of the things, like important things in metal that's overlooked a lot is actually just like the headbang. Like you got to be able to kind of move to it, and it's a human movement, and it's kind of got swing. So you sort of play it all in, layer it up, and I'll have sessions where I'm just kind of just writing and jamming and stuff like that, and like hopefully a song comes out of that, but it might not, so that was one of the lucky times where it's just like smashes out, and you just basically, like, it'll be drum beat, bass, guitar. You just start layering and layering and layering, and once it's kind of done, there's like, I'll have basically a loose sort of structure. It's almost like the outline of a drawing. And then I'll normally try and take a break, because you've got the headphones on, and it's really like you lose perspective on the sounds and stuff, like, and you sort of lose this A/B comparison, and it's really, you just kind of mess your ears up. So have a little break, come back to the next day, and start like, just checking the structure and making sure it's kind of hitting as hard as it needs to be. And that's where you start getting really kind of brutal on yourself, and it can be hard because you might spend like literally hours and hours on like a 5-second piece of music, on like the way the synth like filters up through the guitar or something, and you spent so long on it, like you feel like you should keep it because I spent so long, but it kind of sucks, and you know it. And the reason you spent so long on it is because it sucks. And then so you got to
it sucks. He's like, I need to make it better. I need to make it better. And he's like, I can't make this better. This is back to the drawing board.
Yeah, so it's kind of like that. You're sort of putting all the little I don't know, like I've heard it described almost like it's like a bed, like the drums are like the frame, and then the guitar and the bass and the mattress, and then you're putting like pillows with frilly bits on it and stuff, or a cake or something. But that's kind of how it works. It's like where you get this bass structure, and I'll listen to it in my car, and I'll kind of just process it and make sure it's feeling good, and I'm not getting bored, and make sure each part is as good as the next part. If there's like a really cool part that you're always waiting to get to, you've got to be kind of conscious of the bits before. It's like, well, like that's really cool, but why is this part not as cool as that part?
Yeah,
like, why am I wanting to get through this?
Better?
Yeah. So, and then, so I normally write lyrics sort of after the fact, so as well. So you kind of have the structure of the song, you start putting all the little like bits on it. So instead of just being like these plain drum beats, the drum beats start getting like more fills in them and a bit more feel, and just like little, like so many little subtle things go into each song to make it kind of move, that it's like it could be just like and it's just that one little thing, like one little change that just keeps interest, so it's not this like repetitive kind of boring thing. And then I normally write lyrics like at work in my head. So like I work as a disability support worker, and one of the things like that my client loves to do is just drive around. So he loves driving around, listening to music and stuff. And like, so we'll go on these, like, we'll cruise along the beaches and stuff and go for like nice walks along the beach or through like forests or bushland and all that kind of stuff. And so while he can't speak or anything like that, so it's kind of cool. Like he's quite intuitive with music, and he actually, he's good because he'll tell you if it's shit. So he doesn't care. Like, he's really with you. It's like, it's really awesome. Fine. So I kind of I'll run songs past him, and then I'll sort of like be thinking of lyrics as I'm like walking around or driving and stuff like that, and have a little notebook that I'll kind of write stuff down, and then put it all together, and voila. And then the annoying bit, you got to like mix it. So you've made the song, and then you got to mix it and master it, and I fucking hate that part of it because it's really tedious. You got to go through and make sure there's nice like stereo separation, and the bass is hitting like it should, and all the bits are hitting like they should. And then mastering, you gotta like make sure it's as loud as other tracks. So you don't want someone listening to it on Spotify on a playlist, and it's like everything else is like loud and thick and crunchy, and then yours is just like like
little,
shit. So
little wafer volume, just
So and all that, and then the release. But yeah, it's fun. And then making film clips and stuff like that as well goes into it. So a fair bit like goes into it. Like even if like the sect, probably like the actual writing part of it probably took like 6 hours, just writing, if that, like it was pretty quick. But then the mixing and the mastering and the tweaking and all that's a lot a lot of time.
I can imagine. If it's anything like video editing, which I'm slightly more familiar with than music, because I don't have a musical bone in my body at all.
You say that, and I thought I was like, you say that, but it is in there. Like, it's weird. Like,
I mean, it is. Like, I started playing guitar when I was a lot younger. I think I started about 8 or 9 because I thought guitars were cool, because my dad used to listen to like Def Leppard and stuff, and so that was kind of where that came from for me. And like my fingers got sore after the 3rd day. I'm like, I'm never doing this again. My hands hurt. And then I was in a choir for a while, and my voice dropped, and that went to shit real fast. Never got it back. Just went. I was like, all right, that's that. And that's why I started doing like behind the scenes stuff, like lighting and
cool.
So I used to do like work on school productions with like lighting and a little bit of a little bit of the sound, but they never trusted me too much with the big expensive speakers.
See, I was more scared of the lighting. The lighting I think was scary. It's all I suppose it's all heavy stuff to move around, but
like most of my work was like spotlight work. So I'd be up in this tiny little fucking hot box holding this giant hot light and just like shining it around I was great at it. But, it's fucking, that you're up there for 6 hours for a show. It's like, fuck, it's hot.
Yeah.
That's why I was so fucking skinny as a kid, man.
I worked at a theater for a while, and I was too scared. Like they have all like the platforms up there where they had the spotlights, and know, man, it felt dodgy. I think I get vertigo up there and stuff. I'm just like, no, I don't like this. I'll get back.
I spent too much time climbing trees to like not love it. It's like it was just a 1-to-1 translation, except everything was more stable when there wasn't an imminent presence of death if you fell, you know, because it was harnesses and shit. So it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, that's funny.
So we're a video game podcast. For those listening, probably haven't. They haven't figured that out yet. I mean, I don't see. That's the thing. I like hearing all this shit because it's interesting, right? Because I know fuck all about music. Like, it's interesting to see like what kind of goes into all this kind of shit, because it's part of like who you are as not only as like someone who creates like video game content, but this is something you've done in the background and it's kind of balanced you out, as it were. Definitely. So it's interesting to hear these kinds of backgrounds and stories from people, especially now it's something you're doing more predominantly as well. It's really cool. Cool.
The gaming for me has always been there as well. Like but lately I haven't really found a good game. I need a good game, man.
It's hard,
not getting my fix. I'm not getting my fix. I've gone back to Overwatch, man.
Because I was gonna say you're traditionally. I think when I first kind of ran into you, you were right into Apex. It was not long after it came out. You were running a tournament. I did a couple times. That's right. We first run into so has it always been FPSs for you, or did it start somewhere else?
Well, actually, it was funny because I was never allowed consoles as a kid, so I wasn't like a real gaming kid. Like I would every time we got to a friend's house, I was like, "Can we play? Like, can we play your PlayStation?"
I need you now. We're the only reason we're friends. I need to play your fucking console.
But when I moved out of home, I got a job at EB Games in Australia. So, and always liked gaming, and so when I moved out, got a job at EB, bought my first consoles and all that kind of stuff, and but yeah, never really took gaming too seriously until I started playing a game like Dark Souls. Started playing Dark Souls.
I know Dark Souls. I've never played it. I don't like
great
dying.
game.
I don't do it too much enough as it is.
Yeah, that was it was an interesting game. That was the first time I'd ever like a game had really challenged me, and like I remember like having a boss fight once, and I can just remember like sitting in the lounge room, and I sort of stopped, and my palms were sweating, and like my heart was like just going crazy, and I was having this really like physical response to this game and the intense concentration, and I was like, oh, hang on, okay, this isn't just like a game. Like I can actually, this is really testing me. This is okay. I can dig this. This is almost like playing guitar in a way, or something like that. Like it's hard, okay, we can do this. So I started looking at gaming a little bit differently.
Does the dexterity from the guitar playing help at all?
I don't think so.
Not really.
Probably not. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it's not that I've noticed, but maybe. I've always done it. So yeah. But yeah, then Destiny came out. That was the first time Mrs. and I got online. So girlfriend or wife, excuse me, a huge gamer as well. So she's actually just playing Overwatch now, waiting for me. And we're going to play Outriders tonight. Check out that demo. So yeah, it started playing Destiny, and that was when I first started playing like PvP stuff. And it's funny because I always knew like I kind of avoided it as a kid because I'm really competitive. Like I try and be chill, but like I like winning, and I know I was like, man, video games are bad enough. Like if I'm playing against other people, I'm not going to be able to freaking stop. Like I know, like I'm just going to be like, God. I think that's how Dark Souls got me, and it was just like, no, I can't let it beat me. Like,
it's just pure determination. Just no, fuck you, I'm winning this shit.
But yeah, the thing was, some of that times, like that determination is just really like, it's not finesse. It's just like smashing into a brick wall when you could just walk around it. You know what I mean? It's just like, It's like, wait, dude, just calm down. Have a look at the situation. You can actually just
no, it's brute force or nothing. We're going in.
My will.
I play exactly the same way. I'm like, you just do it this way, man. I'm like, no, fuck that.
No,
I'm doing it
the
this
game
way.
will adapt to me. Like,
exactly. I started playing Valhalla using shields only. God damn it! And eventually, when I get back to it, we'll finish it, and it will kill me. But I'm gonna do it.
So yeah, exactly that kind of mentality. Yeah. So then I started getting into like more PvP, and then Titanfall came out, and that was when I didn't even know about Twitch or anything like that before Titanfall 2. So
oh wow,
checking out like just this country town kind of in Australia. pretty outside of the
I
gaming.
know, I know exactly how it is. Like, I don't think I discovered until like Destiny 1. That's when I found Twitch. I'm like, oh, what's this thing?
Yeah, and or even with Destiny, it's like people discuss games on forums on the internet. What, like, okay, cool.
That was weird. Bunch of forums are wild, and then they talked about other shit too. I'm like, this is weird. Off topic, man. That was the place to be. It popped.
Yeah. So that was So then I was like with Titanfall 2. I was like, I could probably. I remember seeing the record, like the stream button on my Xbox. I was like, might as well do it. Like, give it a shot. And then it was heaps of fun. So I was just like started meeting really cool people, and it's like the Twitch community is awesome. There's so many. Like most streamers, like not everyone, obviously, you're not going to get on with everybody, but the majority of interactions you have with the community is really positive and really cool. And it's nice to, like, especially if you live in a place like Mandurah, like I have very few IRL friends that I can catch up with because they live, hundreds of kilometers away. So it's nice to kind of have that, like, people from all around the world that you can just talk to at the drop of a hat. And it's really cool.
Yeah, it's I think the connection. I was always so wary of like going online. Like I remember when Xbox Live first came about, and I looked at it. I'm like, so I play games on the internet with people I don't know. Yeah, I'm not doing that. That sounds fucking weird. I don't like. It was. I just didn't trust that system because it was something that was so new. It's like this is a little strange to me. I don't think I'll get into it. I didn't get onto online gaming until like Call of Duty. I think like maybe Black Ops or something. It was very, very late in the game for me. But it was something I got into later, and I was like, oh this isn't so bad. Again, from a small town, you have a few friends kind of from school or whatever, but you're all busy with work. And I had a mate of mine that was an avid gamer as well, so we'd jump online and start playing together like that. But I'll tell you now, I mean, yes, I moved to Brisbane last year. The pandemic has a hand in this, but I haven't had that many meetups with people IRL here either. I know lots of people up here, so it's not just small towns.
It's man, I feel bad because like there's a lot of people I want to catch up with, but I don't know. Like I'm probably much like yourself when you got like podcasts and you've got these other sort of things that you're doing outside of work and family that require a lot of time, and there's almost like a certain amount of guilt like associated with hanging out with friends where you're like, I really should be like working on this and doing this and like and that's not a good thing. You need the time where you can just like chill out.
Do you ever find when you try to chill out? Like I'm having this really bad problem, and I know you said you've had trouble finding games. I think that's something I've kind of been doing as well because I feel guilty for not streaming them. Because I'm playing Control at the moment and I want to get back into it, but I'm like, no, I'll wait because I'm playing that one on stream. Is I'll sit down in front of the computer. I'm all right, cool. I'm going to chill out. I'm going to play some games. And then an hour later, I'm writing up fucking podcast guest lists, run sheets, fucking fixing, not fixing stream things, looking at how to fix my stream things, and going, no, I don't want to do that. I'm not supposed to be working. And I just end up staring here. It's like just sitting here for like an hour going, why am I not playing games? And now it's too late and I have to go to bed. And you get so like kind of, it's a job you love, but it's not really. It's just this almost forced hobby.
It's weird, isn't it? Like, and that's good. Like, because I think that just shows like work ethic to a degree. But like, it's got to be a balance. And I think, I struggle with that as well. Like, where it's especially because like I create music here, and I also like do like my kind of like marketing work, I guess, like for the music there, which like here and all that kind of stuff. And then I play games here and relax here as well. So it's like I actually muck around with the lights, and like when I'm kind of like in work mode, I have it on blue, and then when it's like chill time, they fade into different colors to bring the party.
So you've got your lights on a schedule. I like that, man.
So like, and it's more of just like I don't know, like subconscious visual thing. I don't know if it works or not, but like I find that you just tell yourself this bullshit and it might work, placebo stuff,
it's totally this is exactly what's it's all doing it. It's fine. Working is intended. We're good.
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, it's weird, man. Like because you're on your own schedule, like you feel like you never should stop sometimes. And especially like if you haven't got a, like we were saying before, like I haven't really like I was playing Apex and stuff, and I was playing Hyperscape. But since that, I haven't really found a game that's really taken me where I could sit there all day quite happily and play video games and practice stuff. And yeah, it's not quite the same anymore. Still trying to. I'm hoping Outriders is good. I'm going to try that tonight.
Have you played? You haven't played it at all yet?
No, not at all. Yeah,
I've played. I've played maybe like 6-7 hours of it so far. It's not bad. It's okay. Like it's nothing wildly spectacular. But it like everything it does, it seems to do pretty well. The shooting's good, the loot's interesting. Have you ever played Gears of War?
Yeah, I played through all the Gears actually.
The movement, it has kind of that kind of movement about it.
Yeah, like the roadie run type bobbing.
Yeah, the roadie run's got
the
the camera shake and the cover kind of mechanics, which is cool. I mean, you had that with Division 2, I guess, but it's because I mean these guys worked on Judgment, so but yeah, it's not a bad game. I don't know if I'll be grabbing it on release just yet, but there's the demo they have runs for free and well past release as well for people who want to try it, which is really cool. I think.
Cool. That's good. Well, that sort of speaks to the confidence in the game as well. Like if they're
it's such a bizarre game because it's coming out as a full launch with no planned DLC or content. It has crossplay. It has a free demo that you can play at any time. And what the fuck is after the last couple of years we've had with games, like everything's like games as a service. You would play this game for fucking years as your job. Here it is. There you go. We might do some DLC later. Whatever. Just I think that's cool, man. Like it's good to see games getting back to that because fuck me, I'm so done with like service games. Like the fact that they made Assassin's Creed a fucwell, games as a service game just.
Yeah, I actually haven't tried the new one because of that. Like,
I'm halfway through.
As well, I've played a lot of the Assassin's Creed, and they're all really fun. Like, but you can't. Like, I've just been playing the Greek one, Odyssey.
Yeah,
Odyssey. Yeah,
I love Odyssey.
Sort of like, amazing, and I love it because I really like my Greek history and stuff. So I just kind of blow out just being a Spartan. Just like that's so cool. That's enough. There can be nothing else. So that's really cool. Like, so I haven't been had the need to play it yet. But it's like it's one of those games that I know, like, who doesn't want to be a Viking? So it's like I know in a couple of years or something like that, I'll be on holiday and like, there, Valhalla. Totally gonna play that now. Yeah, sick. And all the DLCs out.
Is there anything you're looking forward to? I mean, we've had a few announcements that are like coming because of pandemics and delays and stuff. Is there anything that's like piquing your interest at the moment?
Unfortunately not. Like I suppose Overwatch 2, just because I like Overwatch, but again, like I feel like it's almost like where I'm at the moment with gaming is unfair in the developers because I don't even know what I want. I know it's like I know basically
fair, like man. No, fuck them. They should read your mind.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of have a better imagination than I do. I guess like I remember when Titanfall came out and it felt like that next step with like the way the movement worked and stuff. And I was like, okay, this feels like the next kind of step in gaming in terms of like FPSs and stuff like that and gaming mechanics. And then there was an old game, Lawbreakers, that was a PS4 exclusive. Did you ever hear about that game?
I followed it, but I never got to play it. It looked really interesting. Yeah.
I actually loved it. Like it was so fast and crazy intense and stuff. It was a real shame actually that game didn't make it. But those kind of games to me felt like for what I like personally, because I shy away from realistic stuff. I have this kind of weird thing in my head. It's like if I can do it in real life, then I don't want. Not that I could be a Call of Duty guy. It's like, man, I want to like parkour.
I can totally see you fucking lobbing grenades and just like 360 no scoping people just jumping on. Totally possible.
Yeah, totally possible. But trick shots,
trick shots IRL. Look them up on YouTube. It's totally a thing. I swear.
That's in Afghanistan and stuff. It's like this is brutal. Like, but like I guess like I think a part of it is like just wanting to play out like a superhero fantasy from when I'm a little kid. Like loving stuff like Spider-Man. Like, I want to just fly across rooftops and go crazy fast and all that kind of stuff. And so I feel like the mechanics, because it's all shying away from like kind of high mobility stuff. For me, it's like, oh man, like just another. I can't double jump. Like, oh,
that's boots in the ground. I'll tell you what. Have you played Doom Eternal?
Yes, I do really like that.
Good,
actually,
because I was like, if you haven't, dear God, go and play that. This is the game you've been fucking
play
looking
that,
for.
honestly, just for the soundtrack as well. Like, I love that.
So good.
It's like that's
Absolute
a huge influence on, like that's the benchmark of like guitar tone and stuff. It's so good. Like it's like annoying. It's like, fuck, I wish I could get that. It never ever is.
Talk to me about this, like, because as just someone who loves fucking metal, I was like, yeah, this is fucking sick. As an actual musician who understands the work, what is that like for you?
Well, so that's like the main riff is played on a 9-string guitar. So most guitars are 6 strings, and then like I've got a 7-string here, which is like stuff like Korn play. So it gets deeper and deeper. Like you can tune lower and lower, and like so he's on a 9-string, but he's actually like he's really really good at like synthesis. So it's something that's really hard to do, and I struggle to do, is blending like really good tight bass synths into like a guitar tone, because it's
okay, right? Yeah,
that's where he's
that electronic sound and. They like have that swing in it,
kind of thing. And so when you hear stuff like that, it's like crazy inspiring and intimidating as fuck. And it's a mixture of just like you kind of blow out on it, and you're like, fuck, I wish I could sit down with him for like just a day, and he could like show me how he gets that tone.
How do you do this, man?
Yeah, it's like, please, like, come out with a plugin or something that's like the Mick Gordon Doom plugin, please. Like, yeah. But yeah, it's cool. It's crazy inspiring, that stuff. Like that soundtrack is, just like it's amazing in so many ways. I wish there was vocals to it, like more vocals and stuff. But
because it's all very instrumental. Like Doom 2016 was the same, where it was just like it was just the music, as opposed to just having the vocals and stuff.
It would take away from the gameplay, but it's almost like I wish you'd do a separate one that was like, oh, this is like Doom. Doom plus Max Cavalera from or something, or Doom plus the guy. Something
That'd be sick, man. Just like get a heap of collabs working on the fucking album, and just like release some vocals for it, even if they were like not super present through the tracks. They were just kind of there sporadically. I think that would work. That'd be really really cool.
Yeah, but it's cool, that stuff. But yeah, Doom, like the movement system in Doom, I was kind of I was a bit bummed out that they didn't have like a really robust multiplayer for that. It was funny. I remember hearing that they just had that kind of like 1 versus 4 type thing, and I just wanted to be like the Doom.
I never tried that out. It
either like it didn't really sound that great. It's probably unfair to not try it, but it was so funny because I remember playing. I was playing with my friend Got a Giraffe, and he was like, "Man, fucking Doom! I'm just gonna like no life it." Like, and I was like, "Oh man, like, what are you just gonna like do speedruns or something?" He was like, "Nah, man, the PvP," and I'm like, "Oh, dude, like." It's this to break his heart. It's not what you think. It's not. He's like, what?
It's not your Doom.
I wish they did. Like, it would have been cool. It would have been really hard. I would have got my butt kicked.
Ed, we need we need a new Quake from you guys in the form of Doom with the soundtrack. Yeah. That would be fucking great.
That would be cool.
I think like when I started getting back into PC gaming after years and years and years and years of being console, like PC gaming was originally like fucking way back when the OG Dooms and stuff were kind of like I was playing them when I was younger. Yeah.
That's cool.
Came back and like the first one of the first kind of FPS series I had was the Quake Arena. Is it that's the free to play one?
I think so.
It came out like a couple of years ago or something.
Yeah, and it's like sort of it's got like I remember just seeing lots of 1v1 footage and stuff. It looked scary, to be honed. Like it looked like a game I wanted to play because I play on console mostly. Yeah, but I was like, well, those 1v1s look brutal. That'd be scary.
I had no idea what was going on because I'm so focused on trying to figure out how the fuck a mouse and keyboard work. I mean, spoiler, I'm still doing that now, but it was like, what the fuck? And like, there was so much chaos, and I'm like figuring out how all these fucking weapons work in the game systems. It was fucking nuts, but it was great. I loved it.
Yeah, that's what the fun like. It's a weird like mix, and this happened like in Titanfall and Overwatch and stuff, where you kind of like you get those first couple games in, and you kind of get your butt kicked a bit, but then you start getting it. You just like the hint of like, oh, okay, I think I do that, and then it's like, I don't know. You had this like sort of opens up, and you're like, oh my god, there's so much to learn. I learn the movement, and I go like this, and I'm gonna like master this gun, and like okay, I'm gonna start with this gun, and I'm gonna get really good at this, and understand this, and move on to here, and.
The grapple mechanic in that game was fucking life-changing. Like, you figure, oh yeah, cool, I can grapple people, I can swing around, and then you start doing arcs, and then you start watching people on fucking YouTube go across the entire match, not tapping to the ground. You're like, what the fuck is this sorcery?
Is this Quake with the grapple as well?
No. Just I was just preferring Titanfall. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I thought you were talking about Quake for a second. I was like, hang on,
no.
Yeah,
I don't think it has a grapple.
Yeah, it should. Every game, man, should have a grapple.
Should have a grapple. I mean, if Halo's getting a grapple,
every game
should have it.
Rip it off. Rip off the Titanfall movement system. God damn it.
Because it's so fucking good. And Apex Legends is like, yeah, we're kind of going to do it, but not fucking really with one character.
Yeah. It's funny, man. I remember first thing I did was a big grapple sling with Pathfinder and Apex Legends and went to like slide hop. And I was like, oh, the grapple sling worked. Went to slide hop, you go, gunk, like,
no, I'm a fat ass robot, I can't fucking jump.
Yeah. That was like, I remember, being quite humbled in Apex coming into it, like, because I'm pretty confident in Titanfall, you know, I was pretty confident. And then, I was like, oh man, these guys, like, all these Call of Duty kids that are coming in and the PUBG kids, they're going to have no idea about this game. And then I didn't either because I'm like thinking the alternator can hit fire and stuff. I'm like, this is not accurate at all. Like,
it's so misleading, man. The guns feel nothing like fucking Titanfall at all. He's like, what the? This is just a fucking namesake. What are you doing, Respawn?
I remember the first engagement. I think it was against a Bloodhound, and it was out the front of bunker. I can remember it, and putting my whole clip into the dude. I'm just like, huh? What? He's not dead? Like,
not how this works.
Yeah. This is not what I'm used to. Yeah. But I think I did end up really liking that about Apex. Actually, the longer time to kill. Like, I think as much as I missed the movement in Titanfall, Apex has pretty good dueling. I think when you face off against someone and you've both got good gear and you're ready to go, and the kind of like ducking and peeking and the bobbing and weaving kind of stuff.
It makes for but Titanfall was good because it's a quick time to kill, but it had really good movement systems. Whereas Apex, the movement systems aren't as good, but the time to kill is longer, which means you've got more in time in that engagement to kind of like play strategically, especially because it's kind of more ability based with the team composition and stuff like that. Yeah, definitely. I think like a lot of the Titanfall people complain about the time to kill in Apex, but personally I prefer like a long time to kill in a battle royale because there's nothing worse than just like cruising along and just like you having a good game, like I got some loot, got a couple kills, and then poof, he's dead out of nowhere. You're like, headshot, you're done. What?
Yeah, like what? Come on, like. Yes.
I mean, I know it's not a BR, but I think it's kind of what does me in with Escape from Tarkov. I've played it like a little bit, and because it is like it's super realistic. It's like you get headshot. Especially if you're like you're just spawning in, like you get in there with your PMC, spawn in, and bam, he's like, oh. Fuck, okay. So he's like, oh, now I have to like go play my other character or wait fucking 20 minutes to get a new character running. I'm like, fuck it, just But long time to kills are always fun. It makes for more intense.
Yeah, that's what I like. I think that too was that that dueling 1v1 kind of, and I think Hyperscape is probably the best that I've played. I shouldn't say best. It's just different, but like. With Hyperscape, because you've got the crazy movement, but then a longer time to kill on top of that as well. Like the battles in that can be like there's some.
Yeah, the time to kill in that one actually threw me off. I thought it was going to be a lot quicker. And I got in and played the beta for a bit, and I mean BRs aren't really super my thing. I mean the only one I play regularly now is Apex. It like totally threw me off. I'm like, wait, how the fuck am I dead first? And then like it was taking ages. I'm like, is this a bug or? But yeah, then once you start to like utilize the movement systems and everything else a little bit more in sync with the rest of the game, it kind of starts to fall into place and come together.
Yeah, it's a fun it's weird. Like I really loved that game when it first came out. But they just and the developers and stuff were like they were really cool. Like they were even nice enough. Like they knew so much as like I was like trying to get server swap options because I couldn't find matches in Australia. So I'd do like a stream for half an hour of just like me searching. Like, sorry,
guys, we're switching over to just chatting. I can't find the server. We're just gonna hang out for a bit.
You know, and so like they were nice enough to even like tweet out like, hey man, we're the server swap option will be here soon. It's like so they're really in touch with everyone. So, but they like, yeah, in there, like that is, it was almost like a mad scramble on their part, I guess, to try and get people in. Like, people just left the game because it was too hard, I think, man. Like,
yeah.
and
I would say, like, is it still like there's still quite a lot of people playing now, or has it really dropped right off now?
It's dropped off. Like, you can find matches. There's the team deathmatch in it now, which is really fun. But it's weird because, like, I get it why they've made it a bit easier with like the aim assist and that kind of stuff, and it's just a bit easier to kill people, which I totally get it because they're trying to get that casual market in and all that kind of stuff. They got to pay the bills, but for me, it kind of took away what I liked about the game, and like
that kind of competitive high skill ceiling.
Yeah, it was sort of so it's weird. The magic kind of, like, I still play it, but it's just not like where I could just play it for hours and hours. And like, I loved doing solo versus squads, like, and that was just kind of my jam. I'd do that all night, just and sweating my fucking tits off, like, it's like, you know? yeah. It's like, God damn it, this is like, you just let up, you know. You got these guys on you just going and going, and the community was pretty cool too. Like, started to get to know like some of the really good people in Australia that, you know, they kick your ass a few times, and you'd get to the point where you'd see each other and like you're the last two people and you'd like teabagging, and then you'd give each other a kill or something.
Share the love around a bit.
Yeah.
And did you end up squadding up with many of them, or just kind of became this professional courtesy of the teabag bow than death?
Yeah. No, most of the time I would try and squad up and stuff, but even then, like, it got to a point where, like, we felt bad almost because I remember playing with this guy JRS who was crazy good at the game, and like, I was okay, like, I could hold my own. So we would have nights where we just wouldn't lose, and it sounds up ourselves, we're not like, but we just played it a lot. No one else would really, like, you know, you're coming against new people that have just come into the game, like, hi, I've been playing since beta, you know, like, yeah.
Enjoy your stay. You're dead now.
Yeah, that's it. So we would end up doing things like, using dumb weapons, or like purposely not killing squads so they could like respawn teammates in, and kind of almost like sometimes you're just jumping around people, trying to practice the game and stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
runs.
Yeah. And then you'd come across like good players, and like obviously now, like, as well, like, people have had the time to play the game, but especially on Xbox, like JRS and I both played the beta on PC. So we were coming in with all this prior knowledge, and everyone at Xbox is like, "Oh, what's this game?" And we're all like, "This is what this game is." Like,
pain, nothing but pain.
Then after you're just like, "Oh shit! Like, this is probably not the best thing to do. Maybe we should split up and, you know, try and foster the community a bit, but rather than just stomping newbies." You know, I don't think there was any skill-based matchmaking, and it was actually funny because I don't really like skill-based matchmaking in games because it's just annoying. Like, in a ranked mode, awesome. But this was one of the times where I was like, I feel like they kind of need some skill-based matchmaking.
They need some, or they need a skill-based matchmaking. I mean, it's tricky, right? Because you like skill-based matchmaking is a weird one, like, because you want it for people to be fair. So especially when you've got newer people coming into the game, they're not getting absolutely curbed and then walking away from the game. But at the same time, it can limit your matchmaking potential as well. But if you split it and had like a skill, like when you have like a ranked and a casual kind of playlist, it divides the community, and you'll have people that just won't leave the casual playlist, and then you'll have other people that play all day in the skilled, and then come through on into casual just to fucking stomp people, which is not a good experience for anyone else, because then that drains out the ranked pool as well.
With a game like Hyperscape that's already struggling for a player base, you split that again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because we're JRS and I would be there some nights talking like, what do we not try? You know, like, it's sort of, you know what I mean? It just felt unfair. You come up against people and they're just sort of like looking at a gun. You can tell they're like, it might be their first game, you know, like, and it's just this poor guy looking at the gun, and you're right behind. Hey,
hi.
Like,
tag your
kind of like that. You know what I mean? Like, obviously not everybody. There was good players in there, but, you know, like, you'd come across a lot of new people, and it was just that kind of like, sorry, dude, like, you know, please don't. This is really fun. Like, give it a shot. Like, you know,
just have like pre-recorded like chat messages just to send to people. Well, I'm so sorry. Play the game more. It's really, really good. Just you need to learn the systems and you'll be fine.
Yeah, that's it. Watch my YouTube. Like, yeah, come into the stream.
Yeah, I'll run you through some games on the stream. We'll be fine.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, but it was a fun game. Like, and I still do play it. But yeah, it's just sort of now that it's kind of lost that. I don't know. Just lost a bit of momentum for me. Season 3 is coming out though, so
okay, right, cool. Are they making any? You know, if they're making any major changes as far as anything's concerned?
No, I honestly, I've been kind of out of the loop. Like, and with most gaming stuff, actually, I've been in this little bubble of just like making music and just really self-absorbed.
Why not, right? I mean, look, given the last year, we'll all be fucking stuck inside anyway. Why not just be self-absorbed? Fuck everybody else, you know.
That's it. It's a funny thing about making music, like, because it's just like, man, this is, it is very like, I remember like when I was working as a sound engineer as well and just making music for no one, like how am I contributing? What am I doing? Like, just, you know, this isn't helping anyone. Working at shows for artists that weren't the nicest and stuff like that. You're just like, I don't. And then you like,
did you work for any big names?
Yeah, I got some. I got like pretty high up, which was nice. Like, actually, it's funny. I kind of got offered my dream job at the end of it, and that was when I quit.
I've made it now. I've been offered, and I just can't take it. I don't want to ruin the shine of this brilliant position.
Yeah. It was funny because I got offered it, and it was kind of that crossroads moment, and I was like, okay, boss, you know, I got to think about this, and went and spoke to like a lot of the old guys in the industry and stuff, and things were like, I'd been with my wife for a while at that point, but things were like serious, and it's like, okay, I definitely don't want to fuck this relationship up. Yeah. And sound engineering is crazy intense on relationships. It's like, to be good at it, you have to be just drop of the hat. Like, oh, we're going out on, like, you know, if you plan to go out on the weekends, like Friday night hits, you get a call, like, you got to be at this gig. And like, oh, sorry, I know we just got dressed up literally to go out, but I've got to go 24 hours, you know? So yeah, I had to really kind of think about that. But I had, like, that being said, like, I love doing it, and I got to work for a company. I shouldn't say the name actually, just in case anything bad. But yeah, like, it was pretty high up in Perth, so I got to work at like Future Music and those kind of bigger like arena shows. And
that would have been cool, yeah.
Yeah, like got to work at Blur and Florence and the Machine and Drake and I don't know, any big band that came through like into the arena in Perth, we got to do, which was really cool. So yeah, got to meet heaps of comedians and stuff like that too, and ended up working with the AFL for a while, which was really cool. So the AFL was like an awesome, easy gig.
How was that? Just like commentator stuff, or with the AFL?
It was all tech stuff. So like, it was always like doing like roadie work basically, but with the AFL. Okay. So I'd just be there, so like just a technician. So if like a microphone broke or something like that, I'd fix it and make sure everything's going well with the sound.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Just for the stadium, because they do stuff like within the stadium itself. Like, I think it was what's his name, Carl Langdon for the Eagles. You know, he does all the speaking. So I'd just hang out with him and like walk around with him basically. But it was like really easy because the AFL have lots of money and really good gear, so none of it would break. So
and if it did, it was like, just fix it. It's fine. Just
that's what I had. Stuff. It's like cool, just like so it was really like quite chill, and just like it was cool to be like there in the finals and stuff. I'm not a huge guy for sports and AFL, but it's fun to be like when you're on the grounds and there's like people, it's all the atmosphere. It's fun, you know, like you can't not.
I mean, it's the same as any like live music gig, really. Like there's that atmosphere that kind of takes over, and it's just that's what makes the experience so much more better. So good with words.
Words good, yeah.
Words good, yes.
Yeah, that's it. Like even like it doesn't matter what it is. Yeah, I remember seeing bands where it's like I didn't really like the band, but because of the atmosphere and just the way they interact with the crowd, you're like, all right.
Yeah. What's what's the favorite performance you've seen band wise? It's all right. I won't tell them that you played favorites if that's what you're worried about.
So, like, as like working wise, was probably Florence and the Machine. Like when I got to work on that show, she is just a fucking amazing. Like, her voice is just as good live, and she's like running like crazy around the stage. And the way that she, like, some people, the way that their crews interact with you is just like you're a piece of shit. And that's just kind of how sound is. It's this own little bubble of like everyone is screaming and yelling, and you got to have real thick skin, and there's no time for being polite because we got to get a show on because there's all these people coming in. So shut the fuck up and do your job.
As someone that works in hospitality, man, I am there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't have time to say please, get it done. You know, like
just fucking do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that but she was just like, yeah, she was so cool. Like, and when she came out, like she's this pretty big artist and stuff. And the Perth, she just like sold out Perth Arena, and she's thanks everyone for working, and like, you know, yeah. So she was really cool.
Just really chill about it. Yeah, that's awesome.
And Blur were really cool as well. Like I'm not a huge fan of Blur, but I've got a lot of respect for like the stuff they've done in Gorillaz, and you know, they've made a lot of really good music as well. I'm just like, they were just cool dudes. Like I was like backstage, and like they have that little break, and all of a sudden they're just sort of backstage having like red wine and cheese, and just sort of look over and give you a look like, hey, hey man, and you're like, yeah, hey, hi, fuck, please be cool. Like,
just be cool, be cool, be cool.
Yeah.
Don't look like you've got to stick up your ass. Just be cool.
Yeah. That's it. Don't fanboy out. Yeah. So that, I remember Jim Owen as well, a comedian named Jim Owen.
Yeah, I know him. Yep.
Yeah, he was awesome. He was one of the coolest dudes. He rocked up by himself on a skateboard. Just like, normally these people come in with these big garages and stuff, and he just rocks up with a backpack and a skateboard. So hey, you know, and he hung out with us on the back dock afterwards. I remember like I skateboard, so I was like mucking around his skateboard and showing him some tricks and stuff. And yeah, it's cool. He was a cool dude.
Nice.
Yeah. But yeah, as far as like going to shows, I reckon, yeah, I've seen like Slipknot and stuff are always really good, and Hatebreed, yeah, really good. Have you seen Slipknot yourself?
Yeah, I've seen Slipknot and Hatebreed. Hatebreed was they were on a small stage, so the atmosphere wasn't quite there for me, but still really cool to see them because I'd loved them for ages. Slipknot though was fucking phenomenal. I caught them on their first tour back after their bassist passed away. They did a big tribute section, and one of the guys went like up to the back to the sound stage, climbed up it, and dived off it into the crowd. It was fucking epic.
So
so the showmanship from those guys is fucking incredible. I love it.
Yeah, they're amazing band. Like lots of fun in the pit and stuff like that as well on those ones. And crazy. But yeah, they'd stand out as one of the better acts. But there's also like as far as like metal stuff goes, but there's been a few other bands like band called Sigur Rós that I got to see. That was really cool. If you don't know Sigur Rós, they're more like I personally would describe them as like melodic kind of like droney metal, because I think it's like gets quite thick and it's quite heavy, but it's like really ethereal. I think the guys are from the Netherlands, and the guys like made to speak, like to sing in and stuff like that. So it's this really kind of ethereal orchestral music that really kind of rises over time and all of a sudden becomes super heavy, kind of like in the vein of like maybe Radiohead kind of vibe. And
nice. How do you spell it? Sorry, I'm just adding it to my Spotify playlist as we speak.
Yeah, so you find a song that it's like really, it's like a dream, you know. So it's really beautiful ethereal music, and then all of a sudden these drums start.
Sigur Rós, I found it.
SIGURROS. Check me out, Kim. But they were like this. I saw them at the Perth concert hall, so it's all like sitting down and stuff. And my friend and I were right at the back, so we could put our head on the back and feel the bass kind of wrap around, and the sound was amazing. But it just that was like the show that was like transcended like rock or whatever, you know, like people were crying in the audience and stuff. You had these big metalhead dudes that would like, you know, Sepultura shirt, big beard, and like got tears in their voice, like eyes, because it's just wash of music, you know, like it was.
We're not all hardcore. We all have feelings, guys. Just because we look tough, we're fucking softies.
Yeah, and it was really cool. Like it was just this almost like, I don't know, like religious experience sort of. You can say like when the crowd came out afterwards, there was just like, holy shit, like that was.
We just all have a moment together? Do we need to talk about this and maybe at brunch or something?
Yeah, we need to start a support group for like our experiences. Yeah, but that will always stand out. Just it was very, very cool. Very, very cool. Those guys were amazing.
I think one of the weirdest, not the weirdest thing, but one of the coolest things I've seen in the concert was Slayer. On the final tour in, and there was a couple of old like rocker grannies in the crowd, and they had like one of their blankets, and they were fucking loading people up and yeeting them into the fucking mosh pit, and it was so fun. They had like the full piercings, like the fucking blue spiked hair. They're in like their 60s, and they're just fucking throwing people into the crowd. It was so fucking cool. It's really good to see like just like so many different people enjoying the same kind of music in like
it's fun.
Yeah.
Feels like people are so like from the outside, like people don't understand mosh pits and stuff. They look at it and like you guys just created two walls and fucking slammed into each other. Like, what are you doing? Like, why? It's like, no, it's not. Like, we're actually very safe. Like, if someone falls over,
we're respectfully running at each other.
I remember in the Hatebreed pit, like it's a big circle pit, and like Jamie Jaster, the singer, is like controlling the crowd like a fucking master. It's like figure eight, and everyone's like figure eight and wall of death and all that, you know.
Yeah.
And then like all that chaos of people spin kicking and stuff like that. You see this crowd sort of separating. Oh, this guy's dropped his watch. He's dropped his watch. And oh shit, he's dropped his watch. And everyone's looking for his watch. And all right, his watch back to it. Like,
yeah, exactly. Like it's like we're all there to have a good time. Like, I mean, yes, it is an angrier sounding music, but it doesn't mean we're there to fucking throw hands at people.
Yeah,
it's I had a friend who he's quite young. He had a pacemaker installed. We took him to a concert. He's like, I can't go too close to the speakers, and we lost him in the mosh pit. We were like, me and my brother were there. We're just like, we're fucking, I think it was like a day to remember or something. And we're just fucking in the pit, just fucking jumping around, having a good time. And then we look at each other and go, where's Brad? Is he dead? Like, and we spent like the rest of that set looking for him. Turns out he just like, I couldn't handle it and I walked out, and I couldn't find you guys. He was just sitting in the back of the stage. We're sitting there going, fuck, where is he? Like, we promised his mum we'd look after him. What the fuck are we doing?
Poor guy. Yeah, that can be scary, losing the friends. See, I'm like super tall. I'm about like 6'7", 6'8", so I'm always the meeting point for friends. It's like, just look for, I used to have a big afro too, like when I was hitting concerts.
Just look for the fro.
Yeah, so that was back in the day where I was listening to lots of like Mars Volta and At the Drive-In and that kind of stuff, and like that more kind of, I don't know, like arty rock kind of stuff, like Mars Volta. Yeah, you ever heard of Mars Volta before? Yeah, they were really.
I don't know. It doesn't sound, the name doesn't sound familiar. I'd say the thing is, I don't remember names a lot specifically. I just kind of, I put it on a tune. I'm like, oh fuck, I recognize. The music, especially with some like, especially some older bands. You're like, what, they wrote this and this hit and this hit? Yeah, exactly. Like, it's like, what the shit? Like, there's tracks I've listened to. I'm like, wait, oh, this artist is really cool, and I kind of looked them up. I'm like, oh, I've been listening to these guys this entire time. Fuck, and no wonder this is in my recommended.
Yeah, that's cool. So, yeah. So, going back to the gaming thing though, is there anything that you're looking forward to coming out?
No. Not really.
No. You know something.
Like, here I am, gaming podcast. What are you looking forward to? I have fucking no idea, mate.
Yeah,
I've been playing so much. I've been playing so much catch up lately. Yeah. So like, I'm at the moment I'm playing Control. I only finished Doom Eternal a couple of weeks ago. I've still got Cyberpunk and Valhalla kind of staring at me from the hard drive, just slightly judging me as I play other games that pop up. There's like, it's so hard to tell when we don't know when anything is getting released, and like, it's hard to get excited for that kind of stuff, especially as the way games have kind of gone recently. Like you stop kind of giving into the hype a little bit, and being someone who was covering like gaming news for a while, you start to see like the really fucking shitty side of the industry. Is like, it really deters you from doing anything. But I mean,
with the Cyberpunk thing, like I returned the game originally because it ran like shit on my Xbox and it hurt my eyes, and I was like, I'll just wait till it's done because it looks really cool. I actually like thought it was awesome, like as far as like storyline I think this
story and the characters are fantastic. I love that.
Yeah, it's like the frame rate just kind of fucked with my eyes. So I was like, I'll just wait. But then the way that CD Projekt have handled it, it's like it kind of makes me not want to support that company. And I kind of hate that because I'm sure there's like a lot of nice people in there that are very passionate about gaming. and it kind of almost this theme that's running through all gaming, where it's like a whole bunch of people have come in that aren't really gamers and they're just like businessmen. And the same thing happened with music and art and everything. Where it's like, oh, we can make money from this. Like, okay, like
yeah, we're not here to make games. We're here to make fucking money and exploit the shit out of children and get away with it.
Yeah,
they couldn't find how to do that in any other markets.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not sure if you've seen a documentary called The Social Dilemma. That's all about like social media and all that.
Yeah, that was terrifying. Oh man,
yeah.
Fuck.
I see a lot of those same themes like kind of cropping up in games, like in more subtle ways, just like little, like, I don't know. I'm kind of like, I guess I'm a bit cynical. I was probably listening to too much punk music when I was a kid.
Yeah, right.
Don't trust the big business, but yeah, it's like you sort of seem. It feels like they're trying to. Yeah, it's more about engagement and not so much entertainment. It's like we don't really care if you're having fun as long as you're playing. And
yeah, it's interesting. I think it was Ubisoft, yeah, because it was this Assassin's Creed title. This is Origins, which was the ancient Egyptian one, which was like their first kind of live service kind of model. And the way they pitched the game was how they could reinvest player engagement. Not how cool the game was. It was just like, this is how we can keep them playing this single-player game by manipulating them into doing all this other shit. It wasn't about DLC or extra content. It was like, we can have them play this game longer and make more fucking money. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, and that's insidious and bad and like...
It makes it hard to enjoy the game. Like, because I know that it's like you said, it's the suits that are doing this. Like it's the higher ups, and like there are lots of really wonderful, talented people in the gaming industry that fucking work their ass off for these games. And
I'm frustrated. Imagine those guys that work in.
I know.
And, like, just watching their passion and thing they love and they've crafted. Like you can't. There's got to be guys on Cyberpunk 2077 that are just like, you bastards. You know, I put my I totally fucked my fucking marriage up for this. The amount of hours I put into this shit, but I believed in it. Damn it! And you screwed it. Like, you know.
Yeah, there's this whole situation. Like, I want to support these people because the fucking some of these games are masterful and the work they do is really good, but the business practices behind them just are fucking I mean, we really reached a peak with like Battlefront, or a public peak with Battlefront 2, but I think that kind of opened the lid. And that's where people started going, wait, the gaming industry isn't as fucking innocent as everyone seems to think it is. And we've kind of, as the years have gone on, we're seeing more and more of that and realizing how fucked up, I mean, just people in general are for a start. But, you know, people that are, you know, in very, very high positions and like important positions in the gaming industry that are really kind of ruining it for everybody.
Yeah, I guess that's... if you're like sort of beholden to shareholders and stuff like that, and it's like in your job title that, okay, you've got to make these people money, it would be very easy to justify any amount of evil shit. No, I'm not like, that's not, I'm just doing my job. You know, I'm just doing my job. Like, that's what, you know, be easy to justify. Okay, we'll just do this. Like, I feel like sometimes in Overwatch, I'm not sure if it actually is there, but like, for me, if I start losing, that's going to make me play more because I get frustrated. Like I don't want to lose. Like I just want to, like, I'll play more. And I've had nights where I'm like, I'll have really good teammates in Overwatch, and then it just flips. And it's like, how am I getting these? Like I had such good games, and now it's just flipped. And like I'm wondering, like, okay, do they realize that like if I lose, I play longer because I'm like, I've got to have one good match before I go to bed. You know, like are they realize, like, you know, like the tinfoil?
Tinfoil hat. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, but it's interesting. Hopefully it snaps back the other way, you know, like it's always
I'm really hoping it does. I mean, we're seeing, again, back with Outriders, we're seeing games kind of go back to that, hopefully back to that kind of format where it's fingers, toes, fucking everything crossed, that we're going back to that form of just fucking release a game, hey. And if people like it, go, all right, cool, here's some DLC we had in mind that expands the story. And here's no fucking egregious microtransactions and sneaky ways of like getting you to play longer, like, you know, like especially with a lot of RPG games, making the leveling system work against you so you play longer, which is another Ubisoft thing. Fucking so mad at Ubisoft for so many things, including Splinter Cell, because they still haven't fucking released the game.
Yeah, I still love that game. That was
Yeah, so good. But yeah, so I think I'm fuck. I hope that now the gaming industry is like had its bare ass exposed, fucking caught with its pants down, that like maybe they'll just like ease off a bit. I mean, I know they never will entirely, but
they've got to see it drop, man. Like, because there's people like you and I, it's echoed across every social media platform I'm on, where it's like just not fun at the moment, or not what it was. And they've got to see a drop in the numbers, like. Well, you know, like,
it depends though, because a lot of them are so keyed into the mobile market at the moment as well, and that is where the money is. That's where, like, you know, you've got games like Genshin Impact, right, where it's a gacha game that they've converted from essentially a mobile platform to go on every platform, and so they still have the gacha mechanics in there. Yeah, and so they're making bank and like forcing you to play the game or pay money.
Yeah.
And so it's this real, like, the mobile industry is just like, it's great. I love seeing like things like Project X Cloud, where, you know, you can play games on your phone now that you have on your Xbox, and that's really fucking cool. And I love to see that tech. But some of the mobile games, man, it's just shit to do. Like, here's a checklist with fun animations. You will be rewarded by feeling better. And we'll take your money. Thank you very much.
You'll get an appropriate dopamine response from this input.
Press button, get dopamine. I mean, it's the whole pigeon warhead situation. Do you remember that?
No, pigeon warhead.
So what they did was they trained back in like fucking World War II, I think. I'm not a historian. I know there are people out there that'll fucking fry me for getting this wrong, but they they used to train pigeons, or they're working on training pigeons to guide missile systems. So
okay,
what
like
they do is they
I get, and the missile would like home in on the homing pigeon.
So they have the pigeon, like, and like they'd associate a food response, like, so with the good behavior, and they get the pigeon to move in a direction or click a button to move to guide the missile. I'm pretty sure that's how it worked. And like it never came to fruition because it's fucking pigeons, man. But like, that's the kind of shit people have been working on with animals since like way back then. I can't not imagine that they're not doing that with people. Like, I mean, that's how they're getting animals to space. You know, they're teaching. I mean, chimps are a little smarter, sure. But it's the same kind of principle where they're basically being manipulated to do what the people want them to do.
Well,
so
and
I can't imagine that they're not doing it with people.
Yeah, well, you saw that in Social Dilemma. They talked about that they run these like mass experiments through like Twitter and Facebook and stuff. Like,
yeah,
exactly. Obviously, I don't know exactly what the experiments are, but I imagine it's like, okay, if we show this person this content and in this type of colorization or something like that, how do they, do they stay on longer?
It's so weird how detailed that kind of work is. Like, you think it's like, oh yeah, no, we can. You like this, we'll show you this. But like the amount of like layers in that is like, when especially when it comes down to coloration, shapes, tone and movement, and how things are associated in the brain with what goes, like what pleases someone and different people, and how to appeal to the masses in the easiest way possible. It's really fucking intriguing.
Yeah, color is something that I didn't have an idea that had such an important part. Like I was like on all things, like I actually learned something from TikTok, which is amazing.
Man, no, I watched those Minecraft hacks. They all fucking work, all right?
Yeah. Oh, this one was talking about the color, like it's like baby pink. It's like kind of like dull pink, and that it actually, like, I can't remember what exactly it does, but it basically like lowers testosterone and stuff and makes you like less aggressive. So they were using it in sports games where they would actually paint the opposition's like away team's locker pink, and it would like be this markedly different in like performance and stuff like that, to the point where it actually became outlawed that they weren't allowed to paint those.
Wow.
Yeah,
so insane.
Like, all these other examples of them using pink to like, make people like more dull, like they're using it in prisons and all that kind of stuff, so people wouldn't be as aggressive and all that kind of like it's pretty weird, like that kind of stuff, like just subconsciously plays into your brain.
It's, man, like I think like it is again, understanding the brain is this weird thing because we're using the thing that we're trying to understand it, and it just seems like this weird fucking loop that we'll never get out of. Like, because I mean, it is so interesting. Like, I mean, sciences and stuff come a long fucking way, but for the most part, like the basis of it all is still kind of there. Like we've got more detail, but we already knew what we know. And like, well, we were out there trying to explore the stars and kind of get deeper into the oceans and stuff. And we're still trying to figure out what's in our fucking skulls.
Yeah, it is funny because I think there definitely hasn't been that balance. Like humans have just our external technology, like outside of like computers and the internet and spaceships and all that, you know, all the amazing stuff that we have, like MRI scanners and all that crazy stuff, like outside of us and things like nuclear weapons. It feels like so far beyond our actual mental capability to like use these things correctly, and we can see that with like weapons of mass destruction, things like social media. Like I don't think like the people that own Twitter are evil. You know, I just don't think we really understand algorithms are actually working on our brain. Like, it's like we've got these massive, we're like a child with this huge gun. It's like, I kind of have an idea of how it works, but yeah, so it's interesting. Yeah. Hopefully, I don't know, but yeah, like you said, like, is it even possible like for our brain to know our brain? Like, it's, I don't know.
Like, will we, like, I mean, it's the big question. Will we ever fully understand what the fuck we are and how we work? But we'll figure out. We'll figure out aliens first. I mean, if we as a race can come up with a weapon so fucking devastating that it can destroy entire countries in fucking less than a minute,
yeah,
but we still can't figure out a fucking. I don't know, man. Heads are weird. Like, I was listening to an audio book. Fuck, I can't remember the name of it. It was The End Is Always Near.
Okay, I have heard of that. That sounds familiar. Probably just
it's basically a history of people fucking each other over, and like the history of war and how it's escalated from like pre-Roman Empire to the Cold War, where we kind of got to a point where everyone's like, okay, we're at the point where we can wipe out the entire planet because we feel like fighting. And that's when like regulations and started, like nuclear regulations and stuff started coming in. So we're at this like weird, and it was really weird listening to it post coronavirus because he's talking a lot about viruses and population wipes and stuff like that. Yeah, it was just a really interesting listen. If anyone's, I mean, we're not sponsored by Audible at all. But if anyone's looking for a great audiobook, The End Is Always Near is fucking fantastic. And post Corona was kind of like, he says some stuff in there that relates to what we've been through over the last year.
Yeah, there's been a few things like that come out where some people make predictions and stuff. You're like, what the frick? Like, how did you know
that
this?
One Twitter post, Corona is coming from like 2018 or some shit, and it's like, fuck, man.
That's where it can get, I don't know, weird. Like that conspiracy rabbit hole is easy to go down, as we've seen many done it lately. Like, I'm all for like conspiracy theories. I love it, but I always have this thing. It's like you just gotta dip your toe in the water with that kind of stuff. Like, I'm always
never go full conspiracy, man.
I love, like, show me whatever. Like, I remember going to a talk, actually. It was I was looking at getting into like activist stuff, and I like joined Greenpeace and things like that. And so I went to this like kind of activist meeting, and I was sort of looking at getting into protesting and that kind of stuff. And these guys I thought were organized. So had that meeting, which was pretty cool. And then afterwards, they started talking about aliens and stuff. Like, and yeah, it was like,
guys, this is not what I signed up for.
Yeah, but I was like, all right, show me what you got. You know, I'd like alien. Okay, cool. There's like a race of reptilians. All right, show me the evidence. Okay, I don't really think that's evidence, but that's pretty cool. Like, that'd be kind of fun if that existed.
I don't think your second aunt's feelings are quite classed as evidence.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, but like, this is fun. Yeah, like, it's the same with like even religion and stuff. Like, I've got a very religious family. No, I don't believe in it myself, but I always think it would be pretty cool if it was real, like badass angels and demons and stuff, and good and evil fighting. It'd be cool.
I mean, would it make the question is, would it make more or less sense in our current reality? That's
yeah. Yeah.
Fuck, we're asking the big questions here today, guys.
It would be nice because you're like, sweet, all right, I just like there is a good and there is a bad, and it's not just like subjective and in my brain and humans didn't create it. I think it would be kind of cool. It would be
the freedom of not having to fucking worry about it because it's out of your control. Just pass the torch.
Yeah, we got this. Like we can move on now.
But yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. And plus, you'd be like, okay, if there's cool battles, can we like see some of the battles, like angels versus demons?
Can we can this be the new sport? Just
yeah.
I mean, we're as a race, we're fucking bloodthirsty and we love violence. It's in our nature. Let us watch these celestial motherfuckers duke it out.
I mean, God's got to love violence. If God does exist, He created us in His image. So violence is inherently in us. It's got to have come from somewhere, you know. Like
exactly. Oh no! Wait. Wasn't evil from like the apple or some shit?
Oh yeah. So all the
whole
knowledge.
Snake, the whole tree of knowledge and the snake and the apple.
And that's where all the Satanists
he made the fucking apple, so fuck him.
He made the apple. It's like, but I actually prefer you guys walking around naked because Eve is pretty hot, and I don't mind Adam either. So I prefer you guys naked.
Look, he's made in my image, and he is fucking hung.
How just like if we actually think about that, like imagine if you had the ability, or people had the ability to create other people, and you created someone that was just like you. You're just like, oh my god, it's amazing.
Oh my god, you are famous. And you go back to the mirror, it's like, God, wow, hello, handsome. And then you never leave that. I mean, isn't there a Greek myth about that?
I think there might be actually. Yeah,
there's a guy that's I can't remember. There's a guy who's like obsessed with himself. And like he is just forever in this mirror staring at him. I can't remember. It sounds familiar though. Maybe it was the story of my teens. I don't know.
But yeah, it's pretty self-absorbed. But yeah, it's funny. But yeah, anyway. So if anything, like it reminds me of South Park, like where they like everyone's like in hell afterwards, and all the Christians and all the people are like, what the hell? Like I was a Christian, and then it's like, no, sorry, the correct answer was Mormon. Sorry, everyone. Like. Oh, darn it! Damn it!
Oh, guess we're stuck here now.
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, so back to the conspiracy theory stuff and all that kind of, which spawned from gaming. I'm happy to kind of look at all that stuff. It's fun. It's fun to like.
It's interesting to see, like, especially with like the really wild ones, right? Yeah. Like looking at what they have and how their logic kind of got to that. Because sometimes there's this a jump where there's like, how did you logically get from here to here? You know, it's someone's fucking jacket, and now you're talking about reptilians. There's some interesting logic jumps there, which are really, really cool. To try and figure out, I'm like, what the fuck are you on about? Conspiracies are a lot of fun, man. I occasionally, you look them up. It's like when you just need something to giggle about. It's like, yeah, this is the spot. Aliens and reptilians. Let's settle in for the night.
Podcast I listen to that's kind of about that stuff by these comedians, and they're just sort of, I don't know, yeah, the way that they kind of like they want to believe, and that's kind of like me. It's like, man, I want there to be aliens. Like you want to believe it, you know. It's probably I don't know, who knows? Are they visiting us and all that kind of stuff? But you want to believe it. It'd be cool. It'll be fun.
It would be, yeah. Cool
stuff.
Knowing there's other things out there. I mean, we got something to Mars. We got a drone on Mars again, which is faster than the rover. So we might find signs of life, which is cool. Well, which was I didn't watch it yet, but apparently it was phenomenal to watch. It's fucking feat, man. Like getting to Mars safely. And they want to put people there. It's like, well, you guys you can barely figure out drones right now. Just slow down. Yeah.
How about we even just like try and fix hunger first, like world hunger, and kind of like stop.
No, fuck it. We're leaving it behind. We go into space. It'll fix our problems.
I want the space travel. It's like I love Star Trek. Like it's like my favorite show. I really want to do that, but I think it's kind of need to sort some shit out here. Like we kind of need to help some people out.
Yeah. I mean, if all the rich and wealthy leave the Earth, it technically bumps everyone up, right?
Well, that's true, actually. Yeah, imagine that. That would be pretty crazy.
Oh, yeah, guys, we've solved the world's problem. Send all the rich fuckers to space, and
Yeah,
we'll figure the rest out ourselves. We'll work out a new hierarchy. It'll be fine. I will happily accept the position as your fucking glorious leader. I suppose Spriggs can help as well.
Ruler.
Yeah, you can walk behind me and play fucking sick metal. laid out some tracks so I just parade through towns.
You gotta have it like in Mad Max, where he's got that big car with the drums on the back and the guy hanging with the guitar. Like,
yes. Yeah. This is our new reality. Fucking settle in, ladies and gentlemen. You're in for a ride.
We might not get far, but we're gonna rock.
We're good doing it. It's gonna be like this weird mix between Megamind and Mad Max. Yeah. If I can't have a car, I'm walking around with a boombox just in case for impromptu dance numbers up my sleeve, ready to go.
That's how all political arguments are actually solved from now, like through dance-offs. Armies of breakdancing guys just going at it, like, you know, thousands upon thousands.
It's like this what are those fucking dance movies called?
Oh, like Step Up and all that kind of stuff.
Step Up and all that shit. That's the new that's the new way of war right there.
That would be so cool. Like, thousands of people having a dance off. Like, it'd be epic.
Parliament would be so much more fun to watch.
It would be. Actually, it would probably be a hit show, really. Like,
you keep the layout right. You have like the arch seats.
Yeah.
But you just take out the fucking middle table and have a sick dance floor there.
Yeah.
Throw some lights on, some speakers, and you're set.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Fuck yeah. I think we solved it. Yeah.
I'm gonna pitch it to K Rudd. I mean, I know he's not. I know he's not in charge, but I think he's the guy to go to.
There you go, world. It sounds like a Michael Jackson song almost, like fixing the world through dance. Like, you know.
I mean, it's every fucking Disney movie, right?
Well, that's true. Yeah, yeah. Disney hasn't. Yeah.
Disney knows, man. They're feeding us ideas subconsciously.
It's either that or The Simpsons, you know, like fucking.
I mean, The Simpsons just know what the fuck's going on because, like, yeah, we did that 10 years ago. We knew that was happening. They've got some future shit going on there.
I worry that, like, in a few thousand years, archaeologists will find The Simpsons and be like, this is a prophecy, like a Nostradamus type thing, like, because this was. If we correlate, this was made here, and it's actually predicting all this stuff. So somehow these ancient people knew. You know what I mean?
That is genuinely terrifying to think about. Like, yeah, I mean, if our legacy is broken, I mean, it's not so bad, but if our legacy is broken down to The Simpsons.
They followed this prophecy.
This is what the skeletons don't show this, but this is what they must have looked like with like skin extruding into large points and very tall hair and yellow skin. Like that's who we are now.
Half of them worship like this little robot thing, like
yeah, wild. Anyway, good shit. Let's talk about some freebies. Like I said earlier in the cast when we started off, I'm recording this a little bit early because I'm super professional in everything I do.
Right onto this stuff.
Right onto it. I'm on top of everything. So last week you would have already heard our deals, but we will go over the freebies again this week because they will be the same. And I've consulted The Simpsons and I've peeked into the future a little bit, and I found at least the Epic Store for next week, so I can get you guys up to date on that. So, dude, if you know and love these games or have an opinion on them, let me know. I need to find it. Where are we? Over on PlayStation Plus, we have a Final Fantasy VII Remake for PlayStation 4.
Nice.
Fucking
girlfriend
nice
loves, or wife, should say it, loves that game.
Loves it. Nice. We also have a Remnant from the Ashes. I've heard good things. Apparently, if you like Outriders, you like this. Which is what I was told last week.
It's kind of Dark Souls-y kind of vibe, and it's co-op too. So if you're looking for a good game to like where you can level up your characters and it's pretty challenging kind of boss fights and stuff, and some pretty cool mechanics like on the actual guns where you can spawn little turrets on a gun and keep shooting, or like you'll spawn a cloud of like a swarm of insects that will attack and stuff like that. So you can kind of combine powers or abilities. So yeah, pretty cool. If you like Dark Souls, maybe even Gears of War as well, and Outriders. I haven't played Outriders yet, but yeah, was pretty cool.
Yeah, you have to let me know how you go with that, Riders Man. Once you've played a few hours, let me know how you feel. We might try and get some games together. Over on the PlayStation 5 is a Maquette. I think I'm saying that right. It's Maquette. It looks like a little first-person puzzle kind of game, which looks interesting. So if you don't have a PlayStation 5, you can download that from the PlayStation Store and have it ready to go whenever the fuck PlayStation 5s are actually available, if they do exist. Because it's really funny because a lot of the news articles these days are like, PlayStation 5s are available, guys, fucking go before the scalpers get there.
It's very weird that new consoles are dropped. It doesn't feel like there's new consoles out there. I don't know, maybe it's because we can't get hold of it. Really feel like there's
and some of the games just don't feel like super next gen yet. I mean, it's that weird kind of intermittent stage, but we're not seeing them make use of a lot of the features that.
Yeah, and obviously Corona, they can't do this shit. But yeah, like I mean, like you're saying, a puzzle game, like a first-person puzzle game. It's like, do I really need a next gen console for that? Like,
yeah, I mean, last week or last month it was it was like a demolition derby game. I'm like, yeah, cool. I think Bug Snacks was one of the first ones, and that was apparently people really liked that. It looks like super kiddie and lighthearted and stuff, and you eat animals and you turn into the food they represent. Some weird shit going on there.
I mean, they're probably fun games, but it doesn't feel next gen yet. Yeah,
I don't think we're there yet. You know, it's like we need to see. Like, I think we're at a point where we're seeing diminishing return on tech at the moment. Until we find like the next big break in something, it's going to be kind of much of the same, just slightly improved.
Yeah. Tweaked, made shinier.
Made shinier, exactly. Over on Xbox this month, your Games with Gold, Warface Breakout, which is a shooty generic first person kind of job. From what I've seen,
kind of CS:GO on consoles. Yeah, I've played it a bit.
Yeah. How is it?
Honestly, it sucks because I really did like it, and I was streaming it for a while, and I really do like the game, but it just like the game is broken, or was like you'd reload and okay, there's my gun, you know, like stuff like that. It was always choppy and. That was a while ago, so definitely check it out because I think it's free, so why not? And especially if you're looking for like a CS:GO Valorant type style shooter, you know, where it's all like that peeking and kind of clearing the corners and stuff. But yeah, it's just really unfortunate. It was quite competitive, but it just never ran smooth. So it was, yeah.
The old technical issues.
So you try it. You know, it's free.
Free, yeah, exactly. Give it a shot.
Yeah, it's a fix. So yeah.
Hopefully, Our next one is Dandara Trials of Fear Edition. It's like a 2D platformer, super artsy kind of deal. I've seen this run around a lot. I say this every time I see it, but like it's been like on Epic Store heaps as a freebie. So it looks interesting. I might actually have to get around to picking it up one day and giving it a look. It might be worth looking into. Your other freebie this month is Metal Slug 3. Which is like a twin stick kind of.
Yeah, it's an old classic, isn't it? That game?
They always have like two games and like a classic Xbox game. Yeah,
really classic for a reason.
Yeah. I mean, they made 3 of them, so it can't be that bad, right?
Like it's gonna be good. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So over on Epic this week, which is our other freebie for this week again. I'm missing deals for this week, but you can just fucking deal with it. Hey. Puns. Is Wargame Red Dragon. So this is a Navy ship-based RTS. So if you're into, we see a lot of RTSs on Epic recently, which is good. I think the genre needs a bit of love because you can get some good games in there.
Yeah, I've never played many RTSs to be honest. Like, only like Halo Wars, but I'm like console, so. You kind of restricted.
I think Halo was one. I think a lot of it kind of crossed that into the consoles where people playing and
that wasn't quite as in depth as like StarCraft.
No, God, no.
You like kind of need a degree in StarCraft to play that game. It looks like it's
you need at least 15 years prior knowledge in StarCraft before you start playing StarCraft.
Yeah, I like watching the cutscenes. Man, they add like CGI like cutscenes and stuff. It's so cool. Like their fights, and the trailers like are always so badass. The big Zerg armies and stuff. Yeah.
Fuck yeah, there's a shit. But that is all we've got for this week. Again, dude, thank you so much for A, reminding me that we were supposed to be recording tonight, and B, for coming on and having a chat. It's been an absolute blast.
Thank you. It's been fun.
It's oh man, I just love fucking doing this and talking to people, especially like people I don't get to chat to often. It's good. I like it. So for those playing at home, where can they find you in and around the internet?
So if you search Von Spriggan, VONSPRIGGAN, on like Spotify, YouTube Music, iTunes, like whatever, it should all be there. There's only like the one new song at the moment and an old EP, but heaps of stuff coming out. It's all recorded and done. It's just like making film clips and releasing it now. Also on Twitch, just Von Spriggan on Twitch, Von Spriggan on YouTube. Yeah. All Von Spriggan, just on everything, really.
Consistent. I like it, man. Consistency is good.
Well, it's kind of a weird name, so not many people had it. So I was sweet.
That's easy. Yeah, we didn't even get into your name. Well, that might have to be for another cast.
Yeah. There's a little story behind it, but not too much.
Not too much, right? No, cool.
But yeah, it was a pleasure, man. It was good fun. It was good fun.
It was good. So, guys, if you'd like to get in touch with the podcast, you can find us on Twitter at LeftPod. You can find us on Instagram at 2LeftThumbsPodcast. You can also find the video version of this particular recording with Sprig's beautiful face and mine hideously lit face over on our YouTube channel. Links to that will be in the description below, because we're not cool enough for a nameplate yet. We're getting there. I'm working on it. I have things coming. I promise. Maybe depends on how well my drive goes over the next few weeks. We'll see how that goes. I'm Deft Puppies. You know where to find me. Twitter and Twitch at Deft Puppies when I'm actually present there. It's usually a good idea. Thank you very much for listening. Rate and review as always. Love your faces, and I'll talk at you next time. Bye.
Bro.